You guys, welcome to tonight's live. Once again, we thank you guys. We want you guys to right now go ahead and share this, start a watch party, tag somebody who could use these couples classes and to implement into their marriages. So go ahead and do that right now at this time. And also, if you want to be a part of what we're doing, if you want to sow a seed into what Victory Outreach Hawaiian Islands is doing, go ahead and you could give. There's 3 ways you could give. You could go to our website. Right there on your screen is all our information, or you could go give through PayPal and also text to give. It's a very easy way to give to be a part of what we're doing here. And so tonight we have our very own pastors, Pastor Tony and Sister Veronica, here to close out this segment of breaking down the vows. And so tonight we're going to be breaking down till death do us part, and it's going to be an awesome time. So go ahead and comment down below where you're watching this from, whatever your city, rep your town where you're from, and we're going to get right into it. So thank you, Pastor, Sister Vero, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And let's get right into it.
So if you haven't yet, we would love for you to go back and watch the last couple of Thursdays. We went over each vow and what they mean to us and how you will be tested in these things to have and to hold, for better, for worse, richer, poor, through sickness and in health. That's a lot of tests already.
Yeah.
And then the last one, till death do us part. And really excited to hear what our pastors have to say. How long have you been married now?
We've been married for
29
years. 29 years.
That is beautiful. We've only been married
15. It's going to be 15.
Gonna be 15 in November, and it feels like forever. But I love having great examples before us, because you hear so much, such sad things when it comes to marriage, and a lot of people don't make it to this point right here, till death do us part. They kill the marriage before its time. And you guys are beautiful, beautiful examples to look to. Thriving marriage, on fire. You can just see that, and purposeful. So we wanted to just go ahead and share your thoughts on till death do us part. What does that part of the vows mean to you? Or even if you want to go back to any of the other vows, because I know it leads up to.
Amen. Well, I just want to encourage everyone, even if you're single and you might looking and saying, well, you know what, I don't know how to relate to these married couples. A lot of times it's good to study and to understand what marriage vows actually mean. Some people just go off their emotions. They go off of like how they feel for somebody, and they don't realize the commitment it actually takes.
Read the contract before you sign it.
Exactly. And, of course, how you feel towards someone is really going to make you feel like, I don't care what the contract says, I'm going to do it. And sometimes that could carry you, but you will experience some things that you're like, wait a minute, I didn't know this. You know what I mean? Like, I had to deal with this too, and I know that I was talking to my mom, and we were talking about my husband who has been sick, and I know a lot of you have been praying for him. And we were talking about how he was so sick, and like what would happen if the Lord actually took him, And I think we were even talking to you about it, and he was laughing because he goes, "Wait a minute, you guys are already talking about me dying already?" And but
she was like, "I'm free, I'm free."
But I think I was telling my mom, I said, I need to make sure he eats right, he's healthy. We have to take this seriously, because when we're young, we can eat whatever we want, and it doesn't affect us, right? And there's so many things, but I said, I love my husband. I told her, I want us to die together. I like pray that he doesn't leave me and I don't leave him, that we could just, if the Lord were to take us, that he would take us together, and when you're talking about till death do us part, it really is until death does the contract end in marriage? And sometimes people don't realize that. And I understand, and it's a whole different topic when you're talking about maybe abuse that has happened in a relationship or infidelity, and there's some people that have broken vows and that, but that's a whole different topic. But when we're talking about when God touches a couple's life, and that's what happened with us. We would not, I don't think we would even be able to do this without God being in the center, especially because of our background and because of things that we were brought up learning, you know, throughout life. You know, he cheats on you, you leave him. You know, he does it, he talks to you a certain way, there's other people, you know, and vice versa. You know, we got a lot of counsel from the unwise, you know, but being in ministry, as having young couples within our ministry, there's a lot of couples that have been married 50 years, you know, 60 years. I don't even know how long Pastor Sunny, Sister Julie have been married, but I know it's over 50 years, right? Has it been over 50 years? Yeah. And so I'm like, and I look and I'm like, man, if they can do it, we could do it. So that's why us too, we're like, we don't just fight for us for like how we feel, because how many know that some of us, when we're feeling a certain way, we're done.
Yeah.
But then we look at our children and we're like, no, we can't be done for them. And then we look at how many people have, you know, they look towards us, the exampleship. And then it's almost like if we fail, you know, their hands, their lives are in our hands. Their blood is in our hands. How do we know something? You know what I mean? So we look towards the whole. And I think those are important things.
I think too that a lot of people claim to be tough guys, tough girls, and for lack of better words, worldly talk, swear they'll leave someone if they do this, if they do that.
Yeah.
But the fact is, studies show most people don't leave each other.
Yeah.
You know, they forgive. Even unsaved people, you know, forgive violations that were done to them. I mean, how many of us know someone that got hit by them, by a spouse or by a boyfriend or a girlfriend, got cheated on, got, you know, mistreated in a certain way. And I don't think people out there should feel ashamed of that. I think when you're young, you're a stud, you're this good looking guy, this good looking girl, you think, oh, I would never. But even the toughest unsaved guy has forgiven his spouse. Even the girl who has so many options to be with, you know, to get with someone else, does forgive. You know what I mean? And so I think even the unsaved pardon people a lot, you know, pardon people who do them wrong. And I think so as believers, you know, sadly, some people do go through stuff. Now, if you do it, you know, there is a way to do it that you never have to violate any of the vows. Like you stay together through sickness and in health. You stay together, rich or poor. You're faithful to each other. You're loyal. You honor. You respect. You do all these different things, and that is a very healthy relationship, and that is goals. You know, and for us, pretty much the majority of our marriage, probably the beginning of our not being married, because we got together as teenagers, unsaved. No, I mean, there was a lot of violations during that season, but the majority of our marriage, if not all of it, maybe about a couple months out of 29 years, only a couple months our marriage was without the Lord. So really, we feel like a very healthy marriage, you know? There's not that much we need there's not that much we need healing from because of that. There's not a lot of regret. There's more great chapters than bad chapters, you know? And for that, you know, we're excited. I mean, that's why she said things like, hey, we want to die together, versus other people probably like, you know, maybe look at it like to death do us part, and you know, they're, like I said, messing around saying they're free, you know what I mean? But for us, we actually, I tell people this, you know, we don't just love each other, we like each other. You know, we like, I like her. I love her, but I also like her. You know, like we enjoy the same things, and we also hate the same things, you know. And so that's very huge. So yeah, till death do us part, right? Something that I thought about in regards to that was this. I wrote this down. Till death implies the length of your commitment to each other. You know, till death implies the length of your commitment to each other. So, you know, when you enter into marriage, a lot of people don't know that, but when we do pre-marriage counseling, we always go through the vows with them because we want them to count the cost, and have an understanding of the commitment they're about to make, even though there's really no way for us to get them to really, you know, understand, because not even we understood, you know, like we were young, we were, you know, again, 29 years ago, we were 29 years younger, right? And we're not that old. And so we were pretty young when we got together. And yet nonetheless, we didn't know the cost. You know, we didn't really know, you know, that we would be tested in all the vows, you know? And so probably a lot of people that are single, they don't know that. But it's good to be sober and look at those vows and look at what the Bible says about your role, and then make a commitment, you know, regardless of what you go through, stick to that commitment.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And we were young coming in. You guys remember we were like practically kids still coming in, not married yet.
He did the
So their ceremony.
their ceremony.
I think we were your first couple you married here, right?
Yes.
And he was the stud. You know, we were studs too when we were younger. So there was some damage too with us. And I can say now, probably, I mean, it's been years already that we are starting to feel like, okay, we're healthy. Now we're thriving. Now it's like, even our arguments are different. Like the heading out the door is not an option. It's like, you can sit and we can talk about this. Now we like finally got to that place, you know. And I know that we have been tried. And we do look at the examples before us, and I know it's God. It is like the word. It's all in the word. Like, right? Don't go to sleep in your anger. Like, it's right there. It's telling us things that can avoid. You know, I think we brought that up in one of them. If someone goes to sleep and they're angry, you never know what the next day holds or if the next day's coming. And then if someone's asleep, the other one's right there and the devil's lying to them because you just went to sleep and let the devil have her ear or his ear. But I know that it's God that's brought us this far. And I wanted to ask you guys, you know, but besides that, what are some things that you've done in some of your hardest times where you did feel like this could probably be the end of us? What helped you? I know you said that it being examples. But is there any other like tips that you have in regards?
You know what? I think sometimes like there's gonna be hardships, and we just have to write them out. There is no solution. Sometimes it's just time. Sometimes it's just letting it go, and it's easier said than done. But really, you gotta let certain things go, because if you keep them, it will damage. It affects, you know. And so I know that I think we were celebrating 20 years of our marriage, and there was a lot of things that were kind of like shameful. We didn't want to talk about to each other, you know. We always felt like, you know, we got saved, things that have happened in the past, leave them in the past, and that's all great. But when it's like torments you and haunts you, you know, he should be the one I'm able to talk to about, and I should be the one that he's able to talk to, you know. There should be a trust. And after 20 years, I think it was like that next level of our commitment, our love, our vow to one another. Yet I couldn't sleep for a couple of days. I was just crying. Here I am, the pastor's wife, having to endure like a personal hit. And I'm like, are we gonna make this one? Are we gonna survive this one? And I remember feeling that way, like, and then all of a sudden, it was like if the Lord just, because of our commitment to one another, it was like the Lord just got us through it. How? I don't have the ingredients to it. It's just something that, boom, we just have passed that. And throughout our marriage, I think that there's always been those trying times that now you come to the point where after 29 years, sometimes I'll even tell them, I'm like, those things don't even matter.
Yeah.
Why do they matter? Why do they still matter? Is it pride? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, these things don't matter. We've been together so long.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. This is it. We're going to be with each other forever. We're going to die with each other. Like, that's what we tell each other now. We're growing old together. I know that right now we're hitting our age where midlife crisis could be taking place. You know, the menopause could be taking place. Now we're looking at these obstacles now. Right? So in the beginning, it's all this other stuff. And then now it's like, okay, and then now we're feeling sicknesses. I've been struggling with diabetes. You know, he literally in the middle of the night, you know, if I'm coughing, he gets up, he grabs my water, he's like everything that we looked at on TV or seen, you know what I mean? Like, we are that for each other. You know, he got hit with COVID. I became his nurse. I went in there, I cleaned up everything. The kids wanted to do it, but I was like, I'm his wife. Like, it falls on me. This is my responsibility. Here I am, the mother. I want to take care of my kids, but also I want to take care of my husband. And it wasn't like someone was making me. It was like a natural. It's a natural reaction. It's who we are for each other now, you know? So
yeah, and I think about too, like, you know, the devil's such a liar, right? Because you know, your spouse is the one you're supposed to like a husband, like there should be no one who loves her more. But the world, the way that it usually is happening in the world is there's no one who causes that female more pain than the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like that girl is more damaged because of of him. And that's so the opposite how it's supposed to be. And it's interesting because the Bible talks about that in Malachi chapter 2, verse 16, the latter part in the NLT version, it says, listen to this. Does violence, part B, it says, does violence to the one he should protect. So he does violence, the husband, to the one he should protect. So God was mad at the husband because by divorcing her and separating from things like that, he's actually harming the very one he's supposed to protect. You know, isn't it so twisted? How and it's not just husbands and wives doing that to each other. It's parents damaging their children. Imagine, these are the roles. Mom, dads, husbands, wife should be the most, you should feel the most security, the most love, and yet they're the ones often in this era we're living in causing the most pain. And I think as Christians, and for those listening out there, I think they need to make a commitment, just like we've made that commitment that you know, we want to love each other, and I've said this before, that I never want to make her cry, you know, unless it's for tears of joy, yes, you know, but not, I don't want to be the source of any of her tears, you know, and I think that should always be the goal of a man of honor, you know.
Yeah, like last week I was talking about how Christ loved the church, that should be like our number one priority for our wives, right? Is for us to love them and to cherish them. And also with the health part, the sickness and the health, how we should be aware of how we eat and take care of our bodies now, because like we're in our mid 30s, almost to the 40s now. So it's like, okay, we gotta start walking.
You're almost 40. I feel 50 sometimes though.
So we gotta start watching those things now, because when that time comes and we start going up that hill more, like we're gonna start feeling it, you know, and especially with the type of work I'm in, it's really labor work. So it's like, I gotta make sure I'm good. So we could, you know, for the long haul, you know, we got a lot more to build together. a lot more to do, a lot more places to go, you know, and more levels to go, you know. So, and that's what we want to do, you know. That's why we do the lives for couples on Thursdays, because we want to build strong couples, you know, whether they're dating right now or they're newlyweds or they've been married, strong couples so that they can have some strong families, and so we could build some strong churches, you know. And you know, we got guys are going to OKC to start a church there, and then Pastor Matt, Sister Tamika are there going to Honolulu, and so that's what it's about, you know. And so and like we told the viewers too, that we're going to be starting our life group pretty soon here at our house, so we could do more of that, you know, try to build couples as best as we can. You know, we're not perfect, you know, we're still growing. We're only 15 years into this. And so, but we just want to do our part. And we believe that's a part of our calling too, you know, is to reach couples, raise up couples, feed them, you know, to the ministry, and eventually them answering the call and building something great together. You know.
It all makes me excited, hearing the different things that we do together, and then even the getting old together part. I'm excited about that he's the one I get to get old with. I think he's gonna be handsome forever. I love how you said, like, it came natural. It's like being a wife, like God has anointed you to be his wife. It's only you. There's nobody else for him but us, and it's an honor to do that. And it's funny because you're right, like you're at a new place learning something different. I'm seeing that even with my parents, like they're well off in their ears almost, like they're getting up there, and they're learning even now each other in a new time of their life, and it can get really hard, but that makes me excited. That does, you know, even the little things like that I used to like get agitated with, like the socks not in the hamper and the snoring, and now it's kind of like I've come to the place of acceptance, and then like almost like a little security in it now. Like at one time I was trying to sleep and I heard snoring over here, and I heard snoring, you know, the dogs were snoring, everyone was snoring, but I felt safety. I felt like it would be different if I didn't hear any of that, you know. Sorry. But
you know what's interesting, because you mentioned about getting older. Some people fear the future. They say, you know, you would fear, I remember, is he going to take care of me when I'm older? And, you know, or is this person going to love me when I don't look like I used to look, or whatever? People fear all those things, but, and she mentioned midlife crisis that people go through and all that. But the best like way to sow into your future stages is to do the current stage right. You know, so like for us, you know, we just became grandparents, but we're excited to be grandparents. We're not those people like, don't call me grandpa, you know. Those are people who didn't do young adult life good, and they want to be 18 still, you know what I mean? It's like we embrace our stage of life, you know what I mean? Like we're grandparents, we're excited about that, you know what I mean? And so like you're, and it's usually when you do the stage prior healthy and right, it's a great setup for the next one. You actually will suffer less of that stuff of like regrets, and like I said, we have to be honest, and we don't say that to boast, we boast in the Lord because we served God since we were youth, right? So we have less regrets, you know, so we embrace these new chapters, and we know that God, he's with us, and we go through the same stuff everyone goes through. We do go through richer and poorer. We've gone through that, and we've gone through sickness and health, and we've gone through all those things, you know, and you know, to bring it to a close, I know that the line was in the vows, till death do us part, right? And so when I think about that, you know, it talks, till death do us part. Part has to do with, you know, what should separate us. You know, what should separate us, and what should separate us. And the thing is, nothing should separate us. You know, really nothing. And nowadays, gadgets, we live in an era like these last 50 and 100 years have been the most innovative years of mankind. Of thousands of years of man being in existence, these last 100 years have been the most of inventions. And so the way that the people in sales do it is they remove options from stores. So you go to the store, you can't really buy records or cassettes, or and so they make it to where it's like the option is no longer there, so you can't really choose that. And I think as couples, the option of divorce should be removed. Right. That shouldn't be even an option, And I know we could get technically biblical, like, if they commit adultery, there's that like red tape there where it is a way out, right? Yeah. But the truth is, we got to remember that initially, more than that, God hates divorce. Yeah. So God prefers restoration, and God believes we can be restored, and we have to believe that. And I think in our ministry, all the more. I mean, we were the chief of sinners, like Paul says. You know what I mean? So we were probably destined to be the worst of husbands and the worst of wives. And it was almost probably in our DNA to not to even ruin this beautiful thing of marriage. But look what God is able to do. Yeah. Right. In our ministry, we have so many examples of you guys and us. But there are literally in Victory Outreach thousands of examples that are great examples, both who the devil never even got into the marriage, and then there's those who the enemy might have come in, but God got them through, and they're now living in victory, and God is able to do that, and that's why I love serving God. And the best thing that anyone could ever do is put God in the center of their marriage.
Yeah, and tonight, if anything has spoken to you, if you feel a sense of like, you want to better your marriage, you already heard we're having a Bible study going to be opened up here with Anthony and Nadine, and also to tune in to our lives. Every night there's something that you can grow in. Monday nights we have our worship nights. Tuesday nights we have our gang on online and in person. On Wednesdays we have our life groups. You could Zoom in, or there's going to be in-person life groups. Thursday nights we have our online here with our couples, and also too we do what's called table talk. So I'll come in with a group of people, and we just start talking about topics. And we want you to be involved. We want, even if you're single, we want you to be involved. Just to learn things. This is part of it, part of the growth. Friday night we have prayer night, and it is so awesome to be in the presence of God. Listen, don't wait for the enemy to attack you and then you start praying. Yeah. Get already in a prayer disciplines in your life that you're already praying. You're already guarding your houses, your families, your marriages. That is so important. So Friday nights we have our services, and then also too we have Sunday morning services and in the afternoon. And we just want to invite you out. Saturday we have Real Talk, right? We have Real Talk with my son-in-law Daniel. So every night there's something. Mm-hmm. We're a church, we're a ministry that really we believe in meeting needs of people. And if you're home, this is how your needs are met. We want to be part of that, but we also want you to join us at our church, Victory Outreach Hawaiian Islands.
Yes, and we encourage you, if you need counseling, message us, reach out to us, get involved in a life group, do things like that. Sow into your marriage or into your relationship, even before you get married, even as a single. God is able to do it. He did it for us. Yeah. He could do it for you. We love you guys, and we believe the same God who did it for us, that he could do it for you.
Amen. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Continue to tap in and join us every night. Aloha, guys.
Aloha.